bitch is shaking the table.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the next episode of Shaking the Table. Oh my God, it's my first episode in 2020. I was about to say 2019. Your girl's still stuck in the past. We hate to see it. So today is another special episode because I am about to get the tea spilled on myself because I have Jadyn, who, full disclosure, doubles as my social media coordinator. That's your title, so please put that on your resume accordingly. But so I have Jadyn here with me today because I've been doing a lot of reflecting, not just because it's a new decade, like I always take time to reflect on my life, but just more recently, a lot of you guys have been asking like how I've been doing. You've been wanting me to be a little bit more vulnerable in episodes. I think it's because y'all nosy, but it could just be because like y'all want to know the person that you're listening to. That's fine. My voice is not enough. Y'all need to know about my character too. So Jadyn is actually going to do a tarot reading, which she did before. I believe it was episode 6, Play Your Cards Right. I think that's the right number, but that's the right episode title. And she is going to do kind of a reflection reading. So we're going to talk about like what last year taught me. She's going to do where I stand currently in 2020 and what's going to come towards me. So just to kind of give people who may not have heard episode 6 an intro to what you do, Jadyn, do you mind just kind of giving them a what is tarot, what do you do, why is it important, that kind of spiel?
No problem. So my name is Jadyn, if you didn't get it before, and I run AscendanceHeals, which you can find on Instagram and on Twitter, but I read tarot cards, and when I say that, usually people are like, oh my gosh, do you talk to the devil? And I'm like,
no, that's so Raven.
Not at all. It's like, oh, you tell the future. And I'm like, I mean, I can make predictions, but I'm not just seeing visions out here. But basically, the tarot is 78 cards. Each picture has like a depiction of what life is, an emotion that you could be feeling, an energy you might be in. And since I took the time to memorize all 78 and their reversals, and I'm very connected with my intuition, I am able to read them for people and give them the lowdown on what's happening in their life from like an aerial view.
Did she just say low down on purpose? Because like low down. Sorry, y'all. I'm on clown time because I know for a fact that like when these cards, it's just me, like tarot's a beautiful thing. I love like introspection. I love like getting messages through the cards. I just think that I'm dramatic. Like with me, if I know that I have to talk to somebody about something like vulnerable, like personal, I start sweating. So, and somebody actually shot me a DM. I was like, yeah, I want Jadyn to give you another tarot reading. And I was like, yeah, maybe one day. And so every time Jay's like, I got that reading for you, Lo. I got that reading. I'd be like, huh? What you say?
No, Lauren be like, I'm just not sure they're ready. I'm like,
I'd be like, yeah. I'm not. No, it's definitely, it's not you, it's me. But in this instance, it's like, no, y'all not ready. Y'all don't know what she about to see.
My cards are real.
My cards don't even be bad, though.
It doesn't be bad. They don't lie to you. And so you're sitting there forcing yourself to confront the truth about yourself, about the people in your life. My cards drag me all the time. Like, and I mean like through the mud. They'd be like, oh, you thought this was a safe space because you did? No, we're talking about it all.
I love that. I love when my friends just are like chilling. And this speaks to my friend group, right? Because I will just randomly be like, you know what? I wonder what I should do in this situation. And there's at least one friend in every group that will pull out a deck of tarot cards or will pull up my horoscope or pull up something and be like, yeah, Lo, like this is what's tea. And I appreciate y'all for that because somebody need to tell me because I already have all the answers. Let's be clear. We have them inside of us. It's just sometimes we need that little reinforcement from like God in the universe to be like, yo, this is what you need to move towards, or this is what you need to step back from. And sometimes asking for a sign is a sign, okay?
That too. And honestly, like when I think about it, it's just like even in I do tarot readings for other people, but I send them a YouTube link. And in every video, I have to put out the disclaimer. It's like, I'm here to give you guidance. I'm here to bring you clarity. But at the end of the day, you know what's best for you. You have your own intuition. You have your own head. You were gifted both. So you got to use them because who's going to know the best decision for you but you?
Exactly. And especially like with this new chapter in my life, like with me putting out this podcast and moving to a new city and getting a new job, and then this year I'm going to be 24. Like I need to kind of start thinking about goal setting and, you know, just moving forward. So it's like part of this is going to be me like reflecting on the past, and then the other part is me like, okay, so now what? Because that's my favorite question. So now what? What are we, 2020? What are we?
What are we going to do? And that's what we're here to talk about. So, let's get into it.
I'm ready when you are, I think.
More confidence, please. More confidence.
Okay, she ready. How's that?
Okay. So, the first question was, what has 2019 taught you? So, what was learned in the past year? And honestly, it's just about probably the same time that we had our first reading on your podcast. So perfect timing. So the cards you got were the Tower card. We have the Seven of Wands. We have the Three of Cups and the Five of Swords. So the Tower talks about something, your divine power. I talk to God, so let's just go with God. Your God just striking something out of your life because it wasn't meant to be. And when I say it wasn't meant to be, I mean, like, this was being built on an unstable foundation. So, you know, if you went to go buy a house and you saw that it had a cracked foundation, you wouldn't buy it because, obviously, when the earthquake comes, it's all going to fall apart. It's just logical, right? Mm-hmm. But in your life, sometimes you don't see that cracked foundation, so you keep building on it. And you keep, you know, relying on that thing. And sometimes God, spirits, God's angels, they be like, we're gonna take that out. we're gonna take that out, and it's a chaotic moment, but you learn so much because they're clearing the path. So this just could have been a moment where, you know, things suddenly shifted in your life. You started realizing that what you thought you wanted at a certain moment is no longer what you want, or it's no longer, you know, really bringing you happiness. The thing that's coming to mind is actually your job.
Oh,
but that's just what I'm getting.
Girl. Ooh, we can get into that once you're done. I'm sweating.
And then the next card was Seven of Wands. I feel like 2019 forced you to really look at what you're defensive about, what you're putting your guards up about, what you refuse to let people in on. Because the Seven of Wands, to me, yes, it's like the energy of being defensive. But when you think about it, the things that you're most defensive about are things that you haven't accepted in yourself. So when someone calls out that thing that you're already insecure about, you feel like you have to run and, you know, protect yourself about that one thing. And it's not until you like really look in the mirror and say, oh, hey, I need to work on accepting this part of myself or accepting this as something I want to do, not them. That's when people, you know, they follow your lead. So I feel like you were forced to confront, like, am I really going to let insecurity or people's judgment hold me back from what I want to do?
Okay.
And then we have the Three of Cups and the Five of Swords. Three of Cups is literally you learning to celebrate your own accomplishments. I feel like there's this thing, especially if you learn, because I've seen you do so much, and like you inspire me daily to get off my ass and go do some shit because you're making your dream happen. And so just you actually taking the time to say, like, look, I did this. Let's go out and celebrate. Let's go get some drinks. Like, this is something that I'm doing, and I deserve to have this moment to continue to keep me motivated. I.e., moving away party. But, okay, last card for what 2019 taught you was, like, getting over mind games. And this could be mind games with other people, and this could be mind games with yourself. So, with other people, this is just like, you know, when let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and you kind of want them to do this thing, but you don't want to say, hey, do this thing. So you start, you know, kind of manipulating, you know, the words that you use, trying to put that in their head so they can do something. You got tired of trying to do all that. Because honestly, it's so much work to keep doing all that and trying to play mind games with people to get what you want. But this could also show up in your own personal life. So you know, when you're playing mind games with yourself, it's like telling yourself you don't want a certain thing. It's kind of like being self-deceptive, being deceptive to yourself, I should say. When you're sitting there, you're like, oh, I know I should do this, but I won't. And I know that if I do this thing, it'll make me happy. But right now I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, and therefore I'm going to stay where I'm comfortable. And, like, people don't see that as, like, playing with yourself, but, like, really it's like getting in your own way. And there's this, in 2019, all of these things were really brought to your attention, so you had to work on them. Which brings me into, wait, do you have any questions, Lauren? I want you guys to know.
I'm sweating right now. My palms are actually sweaty. I'm not even trying to be funny.
I just give her all of them.
No, but we need to unpack those cards because, yo, like, I'm telling you, my palms are sweating. Because, number one, the whole job thing, like, I can say it now because I'm out. Like, let me tell you something. Sometimes in life, you think the grass is greener, and that's because the grass itself is artificial turf. Like, this shit is fake. So sometimes you need to get close enough, like, to have a magnifying glass on the grass to be like, yo, is this shit real? Like, is this what I really want? You have to actually, this is why whenever somebody comes to me with making a decision, I have them weigh the pros and cons, because when I took that job at that place, I had nothing, like, and I was like desperate. I was like, this is a job. It's my first job in media. Like, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna make the best of it. And I literally suffered for 2 years of my life. Like, I thought that that's what I wanted to do, and I just suffered through it, and it was not worth it. It's not worth it.
I just brought out some clarifying cards, and for that card, you got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It kind of made you feel unbalanced. Like,
yes,
there was an unsettled feeling when you were at this place, and Pentacles talk about your money, career, comfort, and so it's just like, for that to be in the reverse, it's like, yes, you were in your element, because you're still a queen. However, something was off in this situation, and that's why it had to be cut out.
Yes, like, underpaid, undervalued. They sell you the dream of, like, this is going to be the best place you've ever worked in your life, and it's like, no, it's not, though. Like, this is actually probably the worst. It's like, even the on-campus jobs that we had, like, were better than that job. So it's just crazy that you say that. And I really was, and people thought, like, people see my life and they just think that I'm out here really living, and it's like, bro, you wouldn't last a half a day. You wouldn't last 6 hours in my shit. Like, yeah, it's rough out here.
But I mean, people just think what they see is the truth, and they don't understand that, no, people don't want to just tell you, like, if I get on social media, I'm not trying to just relay all of the terrible things that I've been through. I'm trying to get away from that too.
Right, like,
so
who gets online like, my life sucks, today a bird shitted on me, like, I mean, people on Twitter do that, but like, yeah,
I feel like Twitter's a little more honest, but like, no, I'm not gonna get on Instagram just, let me tell you, like, this is Daria, like, I'm just gonna come in like Daria.
Literally, nobody want to hear that shit, so I don't know. It's like, you gotta cut the
people
slippers.
who rely in media, who like have their jobs in media. No, I can't tell you.
Yeah, you definitely can't. Because nowadays people will screen record my posts and send it to my company. So, maybe be careful.
All right. But, okay, other clarifiers for 2019. I asked for questions, but you didn't really have any. But, you know, like I said, Lauren taught me to be thorough. Like, I'm a thorough reader now. So, with the Seven of Wands, we were talking about the defenses, I feel like it really stemmed from other people's projections or what people said about you and things that you had internalized from a young age. And it had come to a point where it's just like, you could not feel, like, with the Ten of Swords, like, you can't even get any worse than this. But the best thing about the Ten of Swords is, like, at the end of, like, you're first of all, 10 means completion in the tarot deck. So when you get to this place, it's like, okay, but what now? And so with all of these things being said and you feeling like you can't even move because of all of the things that you've internalized or you've been listening to, you just got to the place where it's just like, okay, but I'm going to do this anyway because it's what I want to do. Girl,
I heard defensiveness and I immediately almost got up and jumped off the damn balcony because I'm naturally a defensive person, and I think it's when you, like, are raised to live based on survival and not like through love, you experience things very differently. So even when people compliment me, I get defensive. Even like somebody could literally just be like, "Oh, you did a really good job with that assignment," and I'm over here like, "Did anyone else hear that comment?"
That I could have done. I definitely feel that.
Yes, get so defensive and have to like, I don't know, just like second guess stuff, like people's intentions or like whether or not I trust it or like, girl, it's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. But I feel it, and I think that's why when I look at the next card with the Three of Cups, which came out with the World, makes me laugh. It's like you need to celebrate yourself. And with the World card, it's literally you moving into a new space in your life, a new chapter. Actually, not even a chapter. You've closed one book and you're entering another one. And so you, like, I feel like all of these cards are kind of related to the same thing of you needing to do what's best for you so you can thrive. And like you said, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. And when you're putting, like, if you're in the mindset, like, I'm just doing everything I need to survive instead of doing, like, okay, I'm going to build this so I could really be happy in life and what I'm doing, you start seeing changes, and that's why you get the World card. And when you get to a place where you can see changes and you're making progress, you really do have to celebrate yourself, because no journey is without its ups and downs. Like, literally anything you do is going to have places where you feel low, or like, you know, you got a bump or a scrape or a bruise. And if you don't take time to celebrate your accomplishments throughout, celebrate those high points, then what's going to keep motivating you for the low points, you know?
Yeah, I feel that, because I said it in another episode, like, I spend so much time clapping for other people, I don't clap enough for myself. But it's like, it's hard to, right? Because, I mean, part of it is like, when you celebrate yourself and you're like, damn, I did a good job with that, or like, oh, I really like the fact that I did blah, blah, blah. People see it as like, oh, you're being like braggadocious, you're being arrogant, like you're always saying all the stuff that you do and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, no, I'm just highlighting the fact that I did really well with this. And so yeah. I like struggle with that, because it's like, how do I publicly say I did the damn thing without like coming across like I'm not humble? Because I am, obviously. But I don't know. It's like, it's hard to find the balance between I'm not giving myself enough credit and I'm giving myself, quote unquote, too much credit. Like what Drake does when he's like, oh, I put Afro beats on. Like, I'm not that level. I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
But I'm also like not the I suck level.
I just feel like people, whatever people say about that moment when you're literally just congratulating yourself, acknowledging the things that you've done, if they have a problem with it, that's more of a reflection of them.
Of them. Girl,
nothing to you.
Listen, I highlight all my wins. I'm like, oh, okay, I had 5,000 downloads in 2019. That's amazing. We're going to talk about that. And that's just one platform. So, like,
yeah.
any win that I have, I'm going to tweet about it. I'm going to say, like, the one time that you and I, like, had almost 200 page views in a single week, that's amazing for somebody that only has 200 followers on that podcast right now. Like, for all this stuff,
that was great.
Literally, so like
that was a highlight.
That was a highlight. Like, for all the things that I'm experiencing now, I need to take note of these moments, because that joy and that I mean, there's going to be times where we're struggling, like, but at the end of the day, if you remember, like, okay, these are milestones. Like, this is shit that everybody has to go through when they start a new hobby, and the fact that I'm even following through, the fact that we're even at 25 episodes, like this is episode 25, like the fact that we're even here right now is in itself motivation.
Content planning for the future.
Yes.
And creating brand guidelines. We love to see it.
We love to see it. So it's like, with that, I have to really pat myself on the back, and not just with the podcast, because I do have a life outside of that, but like me growing and healing and learning from my mistakes and not dealing with the past BS when it comes to like finding a companion. Like the way that I go about that, like with my partnerships and stuff like that, the way I go about that is so much different than before, and we'll get into that later. And, you know, just the way that I am in my friendships, and making sure that I'm showing up as the best version of myself is so much different than what it was this time last year. So shout out to me. The fuck, that's a win. Pat myself on the back, period.
You deserve, and that's a perfect segue into the last card with the last clarifier, which was the Five of Swords, the manipulation, and the King of Cups. I feel like the way that you're playing with yourself is what you say, clapping for others but not clapping for yourself. And the King of Cups talks about emotional intelligence. But the thing that people love to talk about, it's like, oh, I'm going to be emotionally intelligent about your feelings, okay? And like people expect that that's the way that it happens, but being emotionally intelligent also you're also paying attention to your feelings and acknowledging your feelings, and you know, doing what you can to validate your feelings. It's not just about the other person. Everything in life is about balance. And it's like, if you're so busy worrying about taking care of the person on the other side of the table, you're going to end up losing. Like, that's a disservice to yourself.
Okay, drag me.
I'm dragging myself too. That's one thing about tarot. It's like every time I'm doing a reading for someone else, there's always a message for me.
That's me when I give advice. I'd be like, hold on, why did I just give that advice and I need to apply that shit to my life? Hold on.
And then I just have to sit there and laugh at the end, like, ha ha.
Yeah, you just gotta be like, girl, honestly, you need to do blah, blah, blah. And then once you get the advice, just be like, let me go ahead and make this phone call because I gotta cut so-and-so off.
You gotta you end up rereading the advice and be like, oh, okay, well, let me just...
No, really. I will literally coach one of my girlfriends to stop, cut one of their dudes off in 2019. Well, I should say the beginning of 2019 because, they had me in the first half. I ain't gonna lie. I just was being messy and just, I just didn't care. But I think once, it was the accident. God was like, look, if you don't calm down and stop making mess and ruining people's lives, I'ma ruin your life.
If you won't sit down and pause, it's so funny, the bottom of the deck is the Hangman, which is literally sit down and pause and reflect. Or where you are currently, it's so funny because you said something about, just thinking about or how not to carry certain burdens from the past and how you do things differently. We have the Ten of Wands in reverse, which is literally releasing burdens.
Okay.
Releasing burdens, and it came out with the Eight of Cups too. So the Eight of Cups is leaving things that no longer serve you. It's in the reverse, so I feel like, it's still in progress, but you're just getting to this place where you're realizing certain things don't need to be in your life anymore. Certain things, they were cute for when it was cute, but we're getting to a point where it's like, I'm not about to keep carrying this weight, or I'm not going to keep doing things that are holding me back from my full potential. And we love to see that. I feel like you're in this mixed place right now. It's really crazy. The Seven of Pentacles is out on this row, and the Seven of Pentacles talks about being planted literally and waiting for things to grow. But we'll get there in a second. I just saw that and it made me laugh because you say things and the tarot will be like, oh, yeah.
It just reaffirms. I told you the answers are really inside of y'all. You just have to, not ignore it, but continue.
Yes. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords in reverse and the Three of Wands in reverse. The Ace of Swords talks about setting down plans. And I feel like what you're seeing right now is the need to literally, actually put out an executable plan. And not just saying, oh, I'm going to do this, but how are you actually going to get there? What are the steps in between here and now? And so you're in this place where you're taking a pause to get all that sorted out because you realize you can't truly expand and go for what you want to and look for better opportunities if you don't take the step of, let me be clear with myself, let me get organized, and let me get a plan together that is realistic and attainable. And then we have the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles in this row. And I love it because, like I said, Pentacles is about money.
I ain't got none.
You building. Literally all the cards that came out in Pentacles are about building. So the Eight of Pentacles is literally putting your head down and doing the work. Again, I am her social media manager. So the amount of times me and Lauren text throughout the week and just set down plans on what we're about to do for the week. What can we do better? Should we adjust this plan because something's not doing so well? And that's the type of thing that, is what that they're talking about with the Eight of Pentacles. Really just sitting down and doing the work, as tedious as it might be. And we're just putting our head down and building, because this is something that you enjoy doing and you want to bring to the world. And it's going to take work. Rome was not built overnight. And with the Knight of Swords, it's like you have a message to bring to the people. And that's why it's so crucial for you to do this work and like get all the kinks out. Because even still, like as you're moving, things are going to get easier. Of course, it's going to come with new challenges, but you being able to put your head down and get the tedious tasks out of the way and perfect them, that's going to make it so much easier in the future. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles, which I talked about, is like the feeling of planting yourself and just waiting for things to harvest, waiting for things to actually manifest. Like you did the work and it's time to just like let your fruits grow. And it came out with the High Priestess, which is that really pretty card. With the black woman in a blue robe. I love this card. But the High Priestess talks about trusting your intuition. It's in the reverse, because I feel like it's like you've been saying throughout the reading, you do have all the answers, and it's about you really sitting there and listening to yourself. You have to really connect with yourself to see like what's a good move. And when I say connect with yourself, I mean like, consistently keeping up with yourself. You change every day because you evolve every day. You learn new lessons, and it's so important for you to just check in and say like, oh, I like this, I don't like this. I used to like this, but these days it's not making me happy. And allowing yourself to change and acknowledge and make that change in the physical, so you're not just doing things that no longer serve you, which we talked about in that first card with the Ten of Wands and the Eight of Cups. Just like walking away from things that aren't doing what you need them to do anymore. And to do that, you have to be able to acknowledge what's not working.
Wow. We just need to debrief that for a second, because that last point of like walking away from things, I feel like that was such a huge theme. And to bring back the Tower card, because so there's a bunch of like tarot readers that I follow besides Jadyn. One of them is Tarot by Bronx, who I love. She's so great. Shout out to Tarot by Bronx. Shout out to Bronx. But her reading, she always talks about, so she does them for like your sun, moon, rising, and Venus. And so because I'm a Cancer moon, I usually watch like the Cancer ones and then the Pisces sun ones and then Aries Venus to like, just kind of get whatever messages I need to take and then move on. And so she was saying how like literally for like a 6-month period starting in like March, probably, like the Cancers kept getting the Tower card like over and over again. And she was just like, your shit is crumbling in front of y'all and y'all are not paying any attention. Like you have the answers, you're just choosing not to listen to them. And I think that's so funny, because I do that with every aspect of my life. I'm always asking, like, that's why I just stop asking people for advice about stuff, or stop like just over analyzing things, because like, girl, it's really not that serious. Like I would be like, oh, like I wonder if I should do this and that, and then sometimes I just wouldn't do anything, or like I would sleep, or I would just forget, or just like write down how I'm feeling in that moment and just move past it. And then the next day, whatever I was freaking out about, like really didn't matter. Really didn't matter. Especially when it comes to like dating too. Like I overthink every little interaction, and I'm just like, literally,
my Virgo moon feels that.
I knew you would understand me. But like for the past like maybe like month or so, I've just been like, yo, if this person really like likes you and really like cares about you and really like just I don't even know how to describe it.
Show up for, like,
yeah,
if
like
this person wants to show up for you,
they will show up.
Will.
And it is what it is.
As simple as that. Like it is what it is. It's as simple as that. And that's something I really been learning too. It's just like things are like, there's only so much that I can control. Me, myself, my
literally,
reactions,
you cannot control
actions.
other people. So just let it rock.
Like a weight lifted off my shoulders when I just, say it is what it is. I might get that tatted, honestly. Just it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like whatever is going to be is going to be. So you just gotta sit there and just. I mean, you could decide to do something, but again, it doesn't.
You still have the choice if you're gonna deal with it or not. But like the facts of the situation, the things that are outside of your control, it literally is going to be what it is. So look at it face it, handle it, however you need to handle it.
Exactly.
But don't sit here and like, oh, I could have done this, I should have done that.
Oh,
I
definitely
literally talked
don't do
about
that.
this in a divine feminine message on my Twitter today. Actually, just you can't keep going back and saying I shoulda, coulda, woulda. It is what it is.
Yeah, no.
Move on.
Don't be like, oh, things would be differently, but they're not. So now what?
Yeah, like, what are you about to do? Time travel? We haven't reached these peaks. Like,
you
let it go.
And also you have to have the mentality that things are not happening to you; they're happening for you. Everything that I wanted so bad to the point where I was willing to like interrupt divine timing and just like go in and make a decision or control the person or manipulate things to get my way. None of that shit worked out. Girl, I can't even control my damn self, and I'm over here, and I was over here trying to control these men. Like, somebody slapped the clown makeup on. Like I was learning.
The need for control.
Literally, I was learning all these lessons about vulnerability and healing and processing trauma and blah, 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 blah. And I was recreating them all over again with different people. Mm-hmm. And I was eating this shit up.
And that absolutely happened.
But it's so fun. It's so fun. Like y'all, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Like being toxic in the spring and the summer was so fun. Nobody got hurt.
Like the aftermath, but like in the moment,
nobody got hurt. Okay, just honestly, no one got hurt, and it was all right. But now that I'm looking back, I'm like, what was I doing?
Another year, more lessons. Yes. What is coming towards you in 2020? So, what we have is some decisive energy. We have the Chariot card. You are about to make a decision, and when I say make a decision, I don't even mean like something small. Like, this is a life decision. You're going to decide to go after something full force. The card that came out with it was the Lovers in reverse. And even though the Lovers, everyone wants to talk about, soulmates and love connections, the Lovers card actually can also refer to just a decision for yourself. Someone looking at two perspectives and then making a decision. And the Chariot card talks about the same thing. But with the Chariot, it's like you've looked at both the good and the bad. You've looked at every possible, like you turned the Rubik's Cube around just to make sure every side was put together properly, and you've made a decision based on all that information, and you're putting all of your willpower behind it. So I think this is going to have to do with more your career, but also just like the direction you want your life to go, because like I said, it's not going to be like a small decision. It's going to be something that affects all parts of your life. These are both major arcana. Okay, so do you have any questions on that?
No, keep going.
Okay. With the Page of Wands, we have the Three of Swords. So, Three Swords in reverse. So, we're coming out of heartbreak. Heartbreak can happen in so many different ways. So, like, the heartbreak of not getting the job that you wanted, or, like, not being somewhere that you're happy. But just any sense of heartbreak in your life, you're healing from. You're coming out of that feeling. And with the Page of Wands, I'm feeling it's about the things that you're doing. You're going to start finding joy in the things that you're doing again. So if you've been in a place where you're like, oh, this isn't making me happy, but I'm doing it anyway because, making ends meet, that has come to an end, and you're starting to see that I can have it both ways. I can be happy and still take care of myself. And just takes me doing the work. And actively releasing the past, which we talked about you're doing right now with the Ten of Wands in reverse. The next set of cards we have is the Fool and the Ace of Wands. When people see the Fool, they be like, I am not Boo Boo the Fool. But, like, the Fool card is one of the most beautiful energies in the deck because it comes with you taking a leap of faith and betting on yourself. So, having faith in the value you bring to the table and what you can do with your voice, with your actions, like the light that you share with the world. And with that, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, which is talking about, when I'm looking at your reverses, I'm not even getting like you're getting stuck. I feel like your Ace of Wands is loading. So like the Ace of Wands is about preparing to make an action, preparing to set something off. So I feel like because this is like what 2020 is coming to you, things are still loading. We talked about where you are right now. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse and how you're getting organized and putting a plan together. that's why this Ace of Wands is in reverse. It's like, until you get your plan all the way together, this isn't going to be like, let's just start like running right now. Like, it's not realistic to not have a plan and just start putting things together. That's how things fall apart. But right now, I mean, not right now, but in 2020, there's going to be a lot of reflection on how you can balance things in your life, because you're starting to realize that there's a lot of aspects to Lauren. Like, there's Lauren, the podcast host, there's Lauren, the person who goes to work every day, there's Lauren in her social life, and as you figure out what's more valuable, what needs more time, what needs less time, you're going to be reflecting on that in 2020. Basically, I feel like it's going to be the word temperance comes in, like, you temper your chocolate so it's the perfect temperature. You're trying to figure out how to temper all aspects of your life so everything is flowing cohesively and you feel at peace and not overwhelmed by any one characteristic of yourself versus another.
Super weird. Not super weird, but like super right on time.
We're still figuring out content and what's the best content for for each post. Like, me and Lauren just be talking like, okay, but like, how is this received? Or
and stop telling me to talk about love too, y'all. Damn. I listen. Ain't nobody.
We can talk about self-love. Like, y'all always want to be in a relationship. And
yes.
I'm single.
Right. I'm nobody's girlfriend. So please, I can't. You know what? Never mind though, because coaches don't play. I give some good advice. I can help y'all. But I think if you're already in a relationship, don't ask me for help, because clearly none of my relationships worked out, so I don't think you should ask me. But I think that if I were to get in a relationship though this year, I think I would figure it out. I think that by now we've unlearnned all the bullshit, and I think we'd be okay. But in the meantime, y'all,
I feel like that was addressed in your what's coming in 2020, the Three of Swords in reverse, the ability to love again.
Oh shit!
Your heart again. Haha, say it, Lauren.
See, I should have just sat here and ate my food. Niggas die.
I can't wait for that call.
Why do y'all want me to be in love? Why? Literally, like,
I want you to be happy.
I'm happy now. I just ate tacos.
I mean, yes. I believe that you're happy now, but like, what's wrong with wanting you to be even happier? Like, I'm just speaking greatness. I'll be happy
when I get another check. When the check clear, when that Disney check hit, bro, I'm gonna be happy. Okay, when any other form of income hit, I'm gonna be good.
Love also comes in like different forms. Like I said, like, everyone wants to talk about romantic love, but like the love between your friends, the love between like you and your support system, the love you have for doing your job and like bringing things into the world. All of this is equally, if not more, important. But since we're just conditioned from Disney, watching all that Disney growing up, we're like, oh, love is that. Love is going to solve all my problems. And it's just a lie. It's not the truth. We have so much other love to give and to pour into other things. So,
girl, ghetto. That's what I would say. But
okay, I sent you a picture of your affirmations, Lauren, and I want you to read them.
Oh, honey, I'm ready to read them right now. Why I sound like that? Oh, I got the shmoney card. Affirm your status as a money magnet to align your thoughts accordingly. Money is simply an energy. Therefore, you always have the opportunity to match that vibration. Know you're deserving of your material desires. Yes, honey, give me some money, universe, because I need that shmoney. I have shmoney, but I want more shmoney. I'm a masterpiece. Ooh, honey, I am a masterpiece. Eat it up, girl. Everything about you has been carefully curated. As a masterpiece, you're a one-of-a-kind, original piece of art. You provide the blueprint for accepting your uniqueness and putting it on display for the world to see. Oh, I can't pronounce that.
Basquiat.
Say it again.
Basquiat. Just know that I had to look this up because it's my favorite card. And I just got tired of
that artist. Is his greatest work pales in comparison to me, and I can't even say his name. That's how you know I'm ghetto. I can't pronounce that shit.
I'm telling you, I literally had to Google it because I get this card so much. I get this card for other people and for myself, and I'm reading out loud to people on these videos, and I was just like, I'm tired of fumbling. Okay. Basquiat. Maybe it is Basquiat. We should look it up again, but just cut this card out.
We didn't learn this. We didn't fucking learn this in Baltimore City public schools. We did not. There was lead in the water. I couldn't focus. Okay. I'm a magnet for loving kindness. Know that you're attracting kindness and consideration as you embody these qualities. Spend time mirroring the same traits you wish to bring into your life. Begin exemplifying feelings of appreciation and goodwill, and you'll soon find it being magnetically attracted to you. This is so cute. I advocate for myself. Be dedicated to standing up for yourself when necessary. Amen. Take control of situations with confidence and allow your voice to be heard. Others will respect and respond with consideration and acceptance. Yes, the fuck they will, because they don't have a choice.
Right.
Blue, boy, I felt that. The shmoney, when that one got me, I saw that in the middle. I said, ooh.
Shmoney.
Bring it.
I want y'all to know on the picture for shmoney, it's literally Cardi B. Doing what she has to do.
I just opened Twitter and it said, message for someone. Your personal life is about to change for the better. Monetary alliances are coming into fruition. Make sure you're making smart decisions right now. You're playing chess, not checkers. Yes. Oh my gosh. It was so many. I keep seeing so many messages about like releasing things and letting things go and like knowing when time's up for like certain friendships, relationships, even family. A lot of my like messages that I've seen, because I follow a lot of like astrologists and tarot readers on Twitter. A lot of my messages that I've been seeing have been saying like, you got to leave people behind. Like you really got to trim some of the dead weight and just. And I know we did a spring cleaning, but we might have, and then I did a round of cleaning again when I moved to New York. We might have to do another way. We might have to trim it down even more. Like I only held 2 photos in my hand, and the girl who I do not choose was immediately go home and pack her bags.
Clothes, people, like things that you're giving your energy to, like it's so much. We might have to recalibrate. I had to recalibrate. Then just be aware that other trials are coming to teach you more. Like you're never just going to be like, I've learned all that I can learn. Take me now.
That'd be me. I already know everything, so now what? Anyway, we're going to turn this off so we can continue our conversation. I love you guys. Thank you, Jadyn. Bye. See you next week. Of course. Bye.